More than 13 years have passed since Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was executed, yet the fate of his family remains shrouded in mystery and continues to intrigue many. Back in 1986, Gaddafi claimed that his adopted daughter, Hana, had been killed during an airstrike in Tripoli, but later it turned out that she might still be alive and well to this day. And that's not all. There are fascinating details about who her biological mother could be. So what really happened to Gaddafi's adopted daughter? Stick around to uncover this chilling and mysterious story. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was known for his eccentric personality, and his personal life always sparked curiosity and speculation. His family, in particular, was a topic of fascination, filled with mystery and drama. In my earlier video, I gave an overview of his family, but let's look closer. Gaddafi's first marriage was to Fatiha al-Nouri, a union that lasted only about a year. During this brief marriage, they had a son named Mohammed, Gaddafi's firstborn. After the divorce, Gaddafi married Safia Farkash, a former nurse, and this relationship became a cornerstone of his personal life. Safia remained by his side for over 40 years, staying loyal to him even in the most difficult times. Together, they had 7 children, 6 sons and 1 daughter. Despite having a large family of their own, the Gaddafis made the unusual decision to adopt 2 children, a girl named Hana Gaddafi and a boy named Milad Gaddafi. This raises an intriguing question. Why would a man who already had 8 biological children choose to adopt more? There could be several reasons behind this. First, it's important to note that the Gaddafi family was fabulously wealthy. Raising 2 additional children wouldn't have been a financial challenge for them, but wealth alone doesn't explain such a decision. Perhaps it was a way for Gaddafi to project a more compassionate image to the world. Adopting children could be seen as an act of generosity, a way to soften his otherwise controversial and often ruthless public image. On the other hand, there might have been personal reasons at play. Hana, for instance, was reportedly adopted as an infant, and Gaddafi was said to have been deeply fond of her. Some believe that adopting children gave him a sense of fulfillment or satisfaction that extended beyond politics and power, a rare glimpse into a more human side of the dictator. It's also worth considering that adoption might have allowed Gaddafi to reinforce loyalty and gratitude within his household. Milad, for example, was rumored to be the son of a close associate or ally. By adopting him, Gaddafi might have secured deeper bonds of loyalty, ensuring that Milad would grow up indebted to the family. Muammar Gaddafi's family was always surrounded by secrecy, and one of the most puzzling figures in this web of intrigue was his adopted daughter, Hana. Interestingly, Gaddafi never publicly acknowledged Hana's existence until a tragic and politically charged event brought her into the spotlight. In 1986, during a series of airstrikes on Libya, ordered by U.S. President Ronald Reagan, Gaddafi shocked the world by claiming that his 4-year-old daughter had been killed in the attack. He announced this devastating loss to the international community, presenting it as evidence of Western aggression against innocent civilians. To emphasize his grief and outrage, Gaddafi even showed the body of a young girl to an American journalist, claiming she was Hana. He went so far as to build a shrine in her memory within his heavily fortified compound in Tripoli. This shrine became a symbolic reminder of his alleged personal loss and a testament to what he portrayed as the cruelty of the West. But this revelation raised more questions than it answered. Before the bombing, Gaddafi had never mentioned Hana in public. There was no record of her in official Libyan documents, nor was she ever seen alongside his other children in public appearances. This led to widespread speculation. Was Hana's death a tragic reality or a calculated fabrication? Some believed Gaddafi had invented the story of Hana's death, or even her existence, solely to gain international sympathy and stoke anti-Western sentiment among his supporters. The story of Hana Gaddafi's death endured as long as Muammar Gaddafi held on to power. Her name became a symbol of victimhood under Western aggression, and on the 20th anniversary of the bombing that allegedly claimed her life, Gaddafi organized the Hana Festival of Freedom and Peace to honor her memory. Yet over the years, bits and pieces of evidence surfaced that challenged the official narrative and hinted at a more complex story. In a series of home videos from the late 1980s, the Gaddafi family enjoys a camping trip just outside Tripoli. Among the scenes of laughter and play, one striking moment stands out. Muammar Gaddafi interacting tenderly with a young girl identified as Hana. In the footage, she is seen kicking a football and being embraced by her father, a glimpse into the controversial leader's private side. The video was recorded by Muhammad Ali, one of Gaddafi's 3 official cameramen at the time. Ali worked closely with the family for 9 years, capturing public appearances and intimate family moments. In this particular clip, Gaddafi can be heard speaking directly to the child. Repeatedly, he asks her, "How are you?" and affectionately refers to her as the little heroine, Hana. What makes this footage so intriguing is its timing. It was reportedly filmed around 3 years after the 1986 U.S. air raid on the Bab al-Azizia compound in Tripoli, during which Gaddafi claimed that Hana had been killed. On the tape, other family members can also be heard addressing the girl as Hana, leaving little doubt about her identity. In 1999, a curious photograph emerged that seemed to doubt Hana's tragic fate. The Xinhua news agency in China published an image of Gaddafi during a visit to South Africa. The picture showed him sitting with his wife, Safia Farkash, and 2 young girls having lunch with Nelson Mandela. The caption identified the girls as Gaddafi's daughters, Aisha and Hana. However, this raised a question. If Hana had supposedly died in 1986, how could she appear in a photo 13 years later? The caption could have been a mistake, but it sparked speculation. The identity of the girl sitting next to Aisha was unclear, adding more mystery to the puzzle. The intrigue deepened in 2011, just as the Libyan revolution gained momentum. The German newspaper Welt am Sonntag published a document from a Swiss bank listing 23 members of Gaddafi's family. Among the names was Hana Gaddafi. According to the document, Hana's birth date was November 11, 1985. If this was accurate, it meant she would have been just 6 months old during the 1986 U.S. bombing campaign, not 4 years old as previously claimed. This inconsistency in her age further muddied the waters. But that wasn't the only revelation. Dental records from the Libyan embassy in London suggested yet another twist. In August 2011, the Daily Telegraph reported that an English dentist had been flown to Tripoli years earlier to treat a patient named Hana Gaddafi. This revelation prompted questions about whether there might have been 2 different Hanas. The dentist later told British authorities, "It's possible, perhaps, there could be a second Hana Gaddafi. It's not beyond the realms of possibility." These conflicting pieces of evidence left many wondering about the truth. Was the Hana who appeared in the 1999 photograph the same Hana listed in the Swiss bank documents? Was she the girl who reportedly underwent dental treatment in London? And if so, why did Gaddafi continue to claim that she had died in 1986? One theory is that Gaddafi might have adopted another girl after the death of the first Hana, choosing to give her the same name as a way of keeping her memory alive. Alternatively, it's possible that Hana never died in the bombing at all, and the entire story was a fabrication designed to serve Gaddafi's political agenda. Another possibility is that the second Hana was a completely different person, a relative or close family friend who was taken into the Gaddafi household and assumed to be his daughter. For years, the story of Hana Gaddafi's tragic death in the 1986 U.S. bombing raid was a cornerstone of Muammar Gaddafi's propaganda. Yet documents, photographs, and personal items found in Gaddafi's compound after the fall of his regime suggest a very different story. One where Hana not only survived the attack, but went on to lead a privileged and influential life in Libya. Senior officials at the British Council had evidence that Hana was alive, yet they never shared this information with government ministers in London. According to these findings, Hana studied medicine in Tripoli and became a doctor. Astonishingly, she also took English classes at the British Council in the Libyan capital, earning an A grade for her studies just a few years before the revolution. This fact alone suggests that Hana was alive and thriving under her father's rule. Evidence from Gaddafi's compound painted a vivid picture of Hana's life. Among the discoveries was an examination paper from a Libyan medical facility, written in Arabic and signed Hana Muammar Gaddafi. A passport photograph of a young woman believed to be Hana was also uncovered, along with pictures of her standing next to Gaddafi's biological daughter, Aisha. These images show a confident young woman, very much alive, contradicting the long-held story of her death. Hana's room in the compound further supported the idea that she lived a normal, albeit highly privileged, life. The room contained a collection of personal belongings, including a Sex and the City DVD box set, pop CDs featuring the Backstreet Boys, and even cellulite treatment products. Alongside these items, shelves were lined with medical textbooks, and photographs of a woman in her mid-20s wearing medical scrubs added to the evidence that she was actively working in the medical field. In fact, Hana's role in Libya's healthcare system went far beyond being a practicing doctor. According to the German newspaper Die Welt reports, Hana was a powerful figure in the Libyan medical profession, working directly for the country's health ministry. She reportedly wielded significant influence, with several hospitals under her supervision. However, her reputation was not without controversy. Some sources claim she used her position to block the careers and promotions of colleagues, solidifying her authority in the medical community. Hana's life wasn't confined to her work as a doctor. She spoke fluent English and was known to travel to London frequently for shopping trips, enjoying the luxuries her family's wealth afforded her. This starkly contrasted with the image of the innocent child whose life was cut short in the bombing, a narrative that her father used for decades to generate sympathy and fuel anti-Western sentiment. According to insiders, Hana Gaddafi built a reputation as a capable surgeon before the uprising against her father's regime. She reportedly performed her duties effectively in a Libyan hospital, gaining respect for her medical skills. For years, she seemed to balance her work with the privileges and pressures of being Muammar Gaddafi's daughter. However, as the 2011 revolution unfolded, Hana's role in the hospital shifted dramatically, and her presence became a source of tension among the medical staff. During the uprising, insiders described how Hana used her position to exert significant control over hospital operations. She allegedly created immense pressure on doctors and nurses, ensuring that no unauthorized procedures or covert actions could occur. Her influence extended so far that staff members feared for their jobs, and even their safety, if they did not comply with her demands. One of the most chilling allegations against Hana is that she ordered medical personnel not to treat wounded rebels or anyone perceived as opposing the Gaddafi regime. These instructions reportedly caused significant moral and ethical dilemmas for the hospital staff, who were torn between their professional oaths and the fear of reprisal. Hana's directives added to the already volatile atmosphere in Libya at the time, further polarizing the medical community and deepening the divides within the country. For the injured fighters and civilians seeking help during the revolution, Hana's strict oversight likely meant a denial of critical care. To those loyal to the regime, her actions may have been seen as an effort to protect her father's rule. But for others, it was a stark reminder of the Gaddafi family's willingness to prioritize their power over human lives. These accounts of Hana's actions during the uprising starkly contrast with the image of a skilled and dedicated surgeon she reportedly was before the revolution. Her involvement in the regime's suppression of dissent further complicates her already enigmatic story, highlighting how deeply intertwined her personal and professional lives were with the political machinations of her father's rule. Why did Gaddafi adopt Hana, and why was she so important in his life? And how did she even come to be part of the family? we may never know the full truth. However, one fascinating theory comes from the book Gaddafi's Harem, the story of a young woman and the abuses of power in Libya by French journalist Hana Gaddafi. The author suggests that Hana might not have been adopted at all. Instead, she could have been Gaddafi's biological daughter, born from his relationship with a powerful Libyan political activist, Huda Ben Amer. Gaddafi's love life was no secret. He was known for being unfaithful to his wife, Safia, and had countless affairs. Many women sought his attention willingly, hoping to gain influence or favor. Others, however, were taken by force, with no choice in the matter. According to the book, Huda Ben Amer was one of the women who shared his bed. Unlike many others, Huda's connection to Gaddafi wasn't just personal, but deeply political. Huda came from a poor family in Benghazi, but quickly rose to fame and power. She became a fierce supporter of Gaddafi's regime and gained national attention in 1984 during a public execution staged by the government. This execution was meant to silence political opponents who dared to express their opposition to Gaddafi. Huda took part in the execution and brutally dealt with one of the condemned. This brutal act earned her a reputation as one of the most loyal and ruthless defenders of Gaddafi's rule. People began calling her Huda the Hang Woman, the Executioner, and even the Vampire. While her actions horrified many, they also solidified her position as a key figure in Gaddafi's inner circle. Her loyalty to him seemed unshakable. The theory in Kojan's book claims Hana might have been Huda's daughter, fathered by Gaddafi. If true, this could explain why Hana was brought into the Gaddafi family and why she held such a special place in his life. Gaddafi may have wanted to protect the truth about Hana's parentage by presenting her as an adopted child. At the same time, recognizing her as part of his family could have been a way to honor his connection to Huda, a woman whose loyalty to him was undeniable. In 1984, Muammar Gaddafi watched the public execution in Benghazi unfold on live television. Among the crowd, a young woman caught his attention, Huda Ben Amer. Her ruthless act captivated Gaddafi. He saw in her not just loyalty, but a level of fanaticism that mirrored his own ambitions. Intrigued and impressed, Gaddafi ordered Huda to be brought to him. This moment marked the beginning of Huda's rise to power. Gaddafi quickly elevated her to high-ranking government positions. She became mayor of Benghazi twice, one of Libya's most significant cities, and a leading member of the Legion Thoria, Gaddafi's organization of revolutionary committees. These committees were tasked with enforcing the dictator's rule and suppressing any opposition. Over time, Huda became one of Gaddafi's closest allies and one of Libya's wealthiest and most influential women. Her loyalty and proximity to Gaddafi earned her a special place in his inner circle. She was considered untouchable and used her position to solidify her power. By all accounts, she became Gaddafi's favorite, someone he trusted and admired politically and personally. Their relationship, however, went beyond politics. According to theories and accounts, Gaddafi's connection to Huda also had a more intimate side. Huda reportedly lived with Gaddafi for a time, serving as a trusted confidant and as part of his elite personal guard, a group of fiercely loyal women sworn to protect him. This close relationship granted her extraordinary privileges, transforming her into one of Libya's richest and most influential women. However, this privilege came with sacrifices. According to reports, Gaddafi convinced Huda to give up her daughter, Hana, allowing him to bring the child into his own family. What happened to Huda Ben Amer and Hana Gaddafi after Muammar Gaddafi's regime was overthrown, and he was killed in 2011? The answer remains shrouded in mystery, with conflicting reports and unanswered questions. Huda Ben Amer, once one of Libya's most powerful women, faced the wrath of those who had suffered under the regime. It was reported that she was captured and detained, and her home in Benghazi, symbolic of her wealth and influence, was burned down by an angry mob. However, there was no official confirmation of her arrest, and she never stood trial. Somehow, Huda managed to escape Libya amid the chaos, avoiding the fate of other regime loyalists. The last known mention of her was in 2022 when she resurfaced for an interview, though her location remained undisclosed. Where she lives now and how she continues to evade justice is a question left unanswered. The fate of Hana Gaddafi is even more elusive. After the fall of Tripoli, Hana reportedly fled with her adoptive mother, Safia, and 3 siblings, Muhammad, Hannibal, and Aisha. The family initially found refuge in Oman, where they lived under the condition of avoiding political activity before later relocating to Egypt. Since then, Hana has disappeared entirely from public view, and no verifiable information about her whereabouts or activities has emerged. If Hana had followed her family, she would have likely lived in Egypt or another country that had granted them asylum. Born in 1985, she would now be around 39 years old. Her life today is a matter of speculation. With her medical training and fluent English, Hana might have pursued a career in a quieter capacity, far from the political turmoil that once surrounded her. Perhaps she continues to practice medicine under an assumed identity, seeking to live a normal life away from the legacy of her infamous father. Alternatively, she could live anonymously, supported by the remnants of the Gaddafi family's wealth. Hana Gaddafi's story remains one of the most fascinating mysteries of Muammar Gaddafi's regime, shrouded in secrecy, controversy, and unanswered questions. Was she a victim, a survivor, or a symbol of political propaganda? We may never know the full truth, but her life intrigues us. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.